Well, hello. Happy Sunday to everyone. Happy 2022. This is like the second Sunday in 2022. I believe it is. It's so hard to keep track. What has happened with time? So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First off, I hope wherever you are, you're safe and you're doing well. We here in the North America, we are actually experiencing winter, and there have been some winter storms. Um, Actually started up in the Midwest and filtering its way down to the South. So if you have been in that trail, I hope you're safe. I hope you have everything that you need, and of course, staying warm. Um, Still a trying time, so we have to be very graceful and very patient with ourselves. So glad you decided to join me, even if you're watching the replay. Again, happy 2022. Thought I would kick off this year's Meet the Author series. There's so much to talk about, but I'm hoping to get it all in not a full hour, but whatever we can do. So, first off, I want to share, actually, sorry, a presentation that I developed for our time together today. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see here. There's there's some, uh, there's some new features here. This is nice. This is nice. Okay, StreamYard. All right. So, all right. So if you can in fact see that, you know my secret. Eek. And my secret is I love Canva. Secret's out. I'm in a relationship with Canva. Anywho, again, happy 2022 if you are joining us. So glad for you to be here. Hoping all is well. Let's get into it. So, we kicked off the Meet the Author series last year. And boy, oh boy, when I envisioned the Meet the Author series, I had no idea it was going to go the way that it did. I honestly didn't. I was overwhelmed with how much love and support we got from the series. It was amazing. And when I think about it, it of course tells me that we're moving in the right direction because we've had so many announcements in 2021. But it also says that there will always be a space and a time for community with Imagiread. Community is so important for us. And each and every author that we had the opportunity to sit down with in 2021 shared those same values. They too deeply believe in community. And so, again, if you're watching, you are part of our community, and we just want to remind you that we're grateful for you. But this is just to recap all of the wonderful authors that we had the privilege and the honor of sitting down with in 2021. All that to say that the series has been a success. Yay! It's been awesome. So, if you've missed any of those, albeit you are an educator, you are a community organizer, community educator, feel free to subscribe and watch each and every one of them on our YouTube page at Imagiread. Uh, you have to understand that there's a lot of information there, but if you are in fact looking for some support, these are the authors that you definitely you want to know. You want to know for sure. So I just wanted to do that and just thank all of those authors for coming along and doing this thing that we started and didn't envision it was going to be this big. So when I approached each and every one of those authors, the year prior, I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing because I recognize that readers, those who are struggling and or reluctant, a lot of the times from a cultural perspective, one of the reasons why is because they struggle with comprehension. Okay, got it. But comprehension and prior knowledge are directly connected. And the Meet the Author series, what it sought to do back then, and it still does, is host conversations that are an extension of our original mission, the mission that we started with 12 years ago, which was to create and celebrate diverse reading experiences for every 21st century learner. Now, again, when we're talking about the reading system for every kind of learner, right? Every kind of 21st century literacy learner, we have to account for comprehension. And that comprehension, again, sometimes is not always there because there's not enough prior knowledge. Essentialism is key when we are trying to reach those who are disenfranchised, marginalized, and have some neurodiversity that we need to account for in our learning strategies. And so this has always been the goal of the actual series. Now, fast forward, uh, what what can you expect this year? Because we did that last year. We honed in on all things literacy development, all things author's purpose. We honed in. Oh, hi, our friend is there. Irie is joining us from the UK. Now you have to think Irie was our very first guest last year, which was so phenomenal because again, if you haven't followed any of our authors and you don't know who they are, you're missing out on a treat. You're missing out on a treat. You're missing out on a treat. Irie and the Flitlets, they are our long lost, I won't even say lost, they're not lost, best friends. They are our best friends, and we are so grateful for them. So thank you so much for tuning in, Irie. We really appreciate you. Hope you guys are staying warm over there. It's cold here. So anywho, what to expect this year? So much is in store. And I will admit that we haven't been posting as much because so much is happening behind the scenes. If you have been following us at all, you know, back in September, we made the announcement that we are digitizing all of our programming. And that has taken a lot of time and energy, a lot of time and energy. Very, very, very grateful for both of my mentors who have been supporting me through this process. Every single individual who has supported me in any way to get here. The funding resources that we've been able to secure to move this initiative along, we are also deeply grateful for. And again, we're developing behind the scenes, but we have some really interesting and really good programs coming up in 2022 that we'll be able to talk a bit more about as they become available. But what to expect this year on Meet the Author? Well, more phenomenal authors. Like, that's first and foremost. Again, we're talking about author's purpose, author's theme, how authors put their work together, what inspires them, how they believe that education and literacy is hand in hand, what community means to them, all of the things that are important for literacy learners. What else can you expect? More reading support resources. So one of the things that we heard through our interviews last year was, oh, where can I find this? Are there additional support resources? And just as I just mentioned with Irie and the Flitlets, they have a beautiful system that is coming up. And I say it's beautiful just because it is so comprehensive, so diverse and inclusive and equitable on every level. It tackles language, it tackles dyslexia, it tackles so many things that these are the kind of support resources that we will be specifically highlighting in the coming year. So again, this is about every single 21st literacy learner. So we hear you. We're going to offer more of that reading support and resources. And last but not least, before some of the interviews, there could be questions. Maybe you're not able to tune in, but you have questions for your favorite author that we're going to feature. Absolutely. By all means, we are opening up the floodgates for you to send us those questions. If you see an author that we're going to feature and you have questions for that author, maybe as a literacy learner, you're doing a project about an author. That would be perfect. Send us those questions and get that A plus. We're offering more opportunities for question and answer in 2022 via Meet the Author. And since we talked about, you know, those phenomenal authors, I guess I can let the cat out of the bag. So this month was just for me getting you familiar with what's upcoming. But I am so excited to announce that our February and March guests have been confirmed, and they are two dynamic authors. Now, again, everyone we featured is dynamic and incredible in their own way. These two you want to see. And if you miss it, remember, we always post on YouTube. So there's an opportunity for you to catch it on YouTube. But I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can make it much, much bigger for you. First up, we are going to celebrate all things Black History Month with Mrs. Ray Chesney. Now, if you are not familiar with Zora Neale Hurston and the work, life, and times of Zora Neale Hurston, just don't forget about it. Don't Google it. Don't do any of that. You have got to see and hear Ray Chesney. Ray is a Zora Neale Hurston scholar. And my whole view of Zora Neale Hurston was totally transposed when I met Ray and started talking to Ray. I was blown away. Now, mind you, I am very aware of who Zora Neale Hurston is, very aware of her work, but I had never seen it through these eyes. You have got to join us for February's edition of Meet the Author, happening Sunday, February 20th at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then in March, we have the pleasure and the honor of chatting with Miss Upside Down here, Miss Sandra Elaine Scott. Oh my gosh. What can I say about Sandra Elaine? So much to say. I used to think that I was like a true bibliophile, like voracious reader, love to read. I don't have nothing on Sandra Elaine. Okay. This super reader is phenomenal. She has written one of my absolute favorite books. Her and her illustrator, Jasmine Mills. I love Jazz. The book that I deeply fell in love with was called The Magical Day. And I actually teach with this book. So we are going to talk to her, not just about The Magical Day, but her recently released, and I don't even want to give away the title because it's so awesome. I'm going to post it. It's something to do with a Black unicorn. Yeah. Gotta love it. We are going to sit down and talk to Miss Sandra Elaine. It's going to be phenomenal. You've got to join us. So that's what's coming up. That's what's coming up. In addition to what's coming up and what to expect this year, we have a few more special announcements. Now, as I said, Imagiread is just undergoing a lot of change, and we are because we recognize that education is changing and that we'd like to be able to support as many Imagireaders as possible. But as it stands right now, Miss Tiffany is only one person. Miss Kalila is in and out. She's in school. So there's a lot that we need to accomplish, and we're trying to take it a bit at a time. When you have a large project, the best thing to do is, of course, just compartmentalize it and tackle as much as you possibly can. And we're going to do that in 2022. We've been pushing along, and it's time to do this, but be patient with us. Be patient with us. We have some other very important announcements to share with you. Not sure if you've seen these. Well, these. All right. So I don't even know how many I have left, but these are the magical postcards. These are the magical postcards. These are the magical postcards. If you've seen our new banners, by the way, we're back on Twitter. I Read and Share 2022 is a campaign that I would like to engage more readers on. We've sent out 40, I believe. And that's why I said I don't even know how many I have left here. But we sent out about 40 postcards already to parents and caretakers to have their Imagireaders get some exercise, get more intentional reading time in, and of course, share your TBR list with friends and family. You know, back in the day, we didn't have cell phones like that. We didn't. We had landline phones. Well, cell phones were coming out. But a lot of the times we relied on the postal service to deliver our messages. And that is what I Read and Share is all about. It's Who can you tell about what you're reading? What would you like to share with them? Think about that favorite author or that last really good book you read. What could you tell somebody in your family or a friend about that book to encourage them to read and to keep reading? So these are free. They're totally free. I keep like getting them out of the frame. So sorry. But they're free. And we've sent out, like I said, roughly 40. I think it might be a little bit more because we did an event with them. But they're free. All you have to do is send us a message and say, hey, can you send my Imagireader some of those? And we'll send them free, like free. We want us to keep our Imagireading goals for 2022. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing is I want to share just a few of the books that we are going to be featuring on our quote unquote podcast via Imagiread with me. So Imagiread with me is our podcast, and the podcast features stories that are born to love, right? Where we try to read the whole story, but what we're getting into is featuring more books like this. Black Was the Ink. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to get into this. In fact, we're going to we're gonna be a guest where the author is going to talk about this. Forgotten heroes still leave their mark. The synopsis on this is incredible. So we're definitely going to be reading an excerpt from that. And if our Imagireading family says, you know what, read it all, we're going to read it all. If you've been following, you know that we've also introduced a program called Future Literacy. And Future Literacy really does look at the role of the future of education and the future of work and how literacy converges that. And the last when we kicked it off, we had so much fun with Tim from Diesel Funk. Like, I mean, mind blowing stuff. But we're going to keep up that energy and we're going to be featuring books like this, The Shadow Prince. The Shadow Prince. Same thing. The excerpt. Oh my gosh, I keep just out of frame. The excerpt is amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. Can't wait to get into that. And then, of course, you know, we have Black History Month. That's right around the corner. Although we celebrate culture every day, 365 days a year. But there's some books that we want to get into. Now, here's the crazy one about this first one. The crazy thing about this first one. Ira Aldrich. Now, many people don't know who he is and what he did and his role in theater. We're going to read about this. And this is our second Ira Aldrich story that we'll be featuring via Imagiread. I actually used to teach with the first one. Also going to be reading about Civil War hero Robert Smalls. Can't wait to get into this one. It's a story of an enslaved boy who hated slavery. Yeah, definitely. Definitely need to read that. And I can't wait to read this one. This one will be our March feature. This book right here, climate change and the conversation around climate change is so big. And when I read this, I was overwhelmed because I had never, ever heard of Wangari. Never, never, never. Almost ashamed to say that. But we're going to read it again for you via Imagiread with me in March. And who doesn't know the beautiful, wonderful, infamous Dr. Maya Angelou? We're going to read some of these poems in April for Imagiread with me because it's Poetry Month. And as a surprise, there's another one, but I'm going to hold off on sharing that one because it's the big surprise. We're going to definitely be featuring a lot of excerpts from this surprise pick, but also picks from this title, I Remember. Poetry is and will always be one of my first loves when we're talking about literacy. And it is because it's fairly easy to teach because of the cultural nuances. Learners typically gravitate to poetry, typically easier. It's a little bit more digestible because it's not as much information. And here again, when we're talking about comprehension, some of the things that I notice are struggling and reluctant readers have difficulty with, it's digestible information. So there you have it. That was all of 20 minutes. And yeah, it's Sunday. So I'm so super glad that you are here. Wonderful time ahead. So exciting. Like, just exciting stuff happening. It's exciting stuff happening. It is this year. Ari said, and I have to show this year is about to become a whole lot better. I say this all the time, and I've been saying this to a lot of the venture capitalists that I've been talking to. I have really big faith, and a lot of the individuals that I confer with regularly also have faith. And sometimes having faith in situations that look very dark and dismal can be tough. And we understand that, totally understand that. Life happens. Life happens. It happens for everybody, and it's happening differently for everyone. And so, in the midst of the heaviest times, we always want to be compassionate, but we are definitely looking forward to Irie's point, this year being a whole lot better, because a lot of us are overwhelmed and fatigued and tired and going through things that are just very difficult. And we understand that. We understand that. We want to be a support, an educational support to those, not just who are having difficulty, but those who are doing well. This is it's always been about community. So I concur, Irie. This year is about to become a whole lot better because of the focus in mind. Again, we remember that we're human. We're all human, even though these may be businesses and organizations and things we're doing. Everyone is human, and everyone, we have to assume, is doing the best that they possibly can. So just wanted to pop in and kick off Meet the Author. Maybe I can get Kalila to come back and visit with us. We'll see. She's in school, like I said, and she's doing her thing. So proud of her. Also, look forward to her doing some sign language for us soon. Excited about that. So that's all I have for you this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad you were able to join. Remember, stay tuned. Next month's feature is Ray Chesney, the Zora Neale Hurston scholar. And then in March, we'll feature Miss Sandra Elaine. So excited about all that there is available to us this year. Remember, if you can't say this enough, get your postcards. Get your postcards. They're free. Share with a friend. Send your friend a note. You don't even have to talk about books if you don't want to. You can just send your friend a note and just say, "Hi, I'm thinking about you." And just drop it in the mail. Easy peasy. People need that now. People need that now. So thanks for joining. I hope you're well. See you soon.